All right, welcome to Book 4, Unit 8, Grammar Presentation 1 of 2. Let's take a look at what we're going to be studying this week. What you will need to know: the modal verb well, future with be going to, present progressive, also called present continuous. What is a plan and what is a prediction? Today we will study how well be going to, present progressive, can be used for the future tense. Talking about future plans made in the past, talking about predictions for the future, talking about facts for the future. What's a fact? Remember, this is something that can be proven true, or it's something we know about. We can prove this. Contractions. What are contractions? All right, think about a lot of times you say do not. The contraction is don't. All right? And probably. Okay, on the next page, I'm going to give you a minute, look it over, and then we'll discuss it together. All right, let's go over. 3 verb tenses for the future. The modal well, subject plus well plus base verb. It will rain on Sunday. All right, so look at this sentence. It will rain on Sunday. Has it rained yet? No. This is about something that is going to happen in the future. And this is our future tense, will. In the future, comma, there will be flying cars. All right, and again, look at our color-coded formula. All right, this is the formula, how you write your sentences, how you say your sentence, right? There's our subject, there's our will, and there's our base verb. Okay, last example. I think the students will ace the test. All right. Future with be going to. Subject plus be plus going to. All right, now remember, be here is the be verb. It doesn't mean stick be in there all the time. All right. So I am going to play football. Subject I, the be verb as in, as is and are. Okay, are our be verbs. There's our going to play football. And remember, this goes together, this phrase, it's going to. So if you see on a test, if you see just going without the to, then you know that's the wrong answer. You're looking for going to. Or maybe they will just have going without the to, but the real one will be well. All right? It is going to rain on Sunday. It, our subject, be verb is, going to rain All right, going to, and then our base verb rain. All right. They are going to take a test on Thursday. She is going to study. All right. Now, again, remember what your rules are. Which subject uses which form of the be verb. All right. These are things you've already been taught, so you have to realize you will be tested on this in the future. Okay, or these are things that will count against you on speaking tests and writing tests. All right, next slide. Take about 30 seconds, look it over, and then we'll discuss it together. All right, let's discuss it. Okay, the three verb tenses for future continued. Now, the present continuous. Now, this is where it kind of gets confusing because we're talking about future, but we're using the word present continuous. Subject plus the be verb plus the base verb ing. All right, here's the key here, the base verb ing. This is your formula. This is what you want to be focusing on when you're writing and you're speaking. So I am taking a test on Thursday. I is our subject, be verb am, okay, base verb plus ing, taking. Next week, comma, I am going to Dubai. They are graduating in May. She is meeting her friend next week. As we go through all of these slides, I'm going to tell you to take a minute, look it over, read it, try to understand before I explain it to you. Okay, so next slide. And again, take a minute, look through the slide, try to get an understanding before we go over it together. All right, predictions. Two tenses can be used for predictions. Well and be going to. Subject plus well plus base verb. Tradition in Bedouin culture will disappear by 2100. It will rain next week. Now remember, what is a prediction? It's what you think is going to happen, all right? Why do we make this prediction? Because of some information that we have. All right, this leads us to make the prediction. We're not just making a guess based on nothing. We have some information. All right. Okay, next, subject plus be verb plus going to plus your base verb. Future be going to. Traditional Bedouin culture is going to disappear by 2100. it is going to rain next week. Now, which one of these is correct? It will rain next week. It is going to rain next week. Remember, they're both correct, right? You can use will or you can use going to, right? These are both forms of predictions. Okay. Don't use present progressive for future plans. Not traditional Bedouin culture is disappearing by 2100. Not it is raining next week. You would say it is raining, right? But it wouldn't be a prediction. This is something that you're saying now that's going to happen in the future. All right, take 2 minutes, go through this slide, try to understand it, and then we'll discuss it together. All right, let's go over it. Hopefully you've got an understanding. Future plans made before now. Two tenses can be used for future plans made before now. Future, be going to, and present progressive. I bought a house in Kobar yesterday. Okay? I'm talking about it now, but it was done yesterday. Right? I plan to move there next month. This is a future plan made in the past. So I bought a house in Kobar yesterday. Right? I did this. I bought the house yesterday. So yesterday is when I made my plan to move there in the future in a month. But I am telling you this now. Okay? So I didn't make the plan now. I made the plan already in the past about something I'm going to do in the future. This is the key here. When they say future plans made before now, I made this plan yesterday when I bought my house. I'm telling you about it today, but I won't move until next month. All right? So this is a future plan made before right now. So our formula is subject plus be verb plus going to plus base verb. So this is the future be going to. I, subject, am, our be verb, going to, move, okay, our base verb, to Kobar next month. All right, why? That fits with what happened here, right? You know I bought the house in Kobar, so that's where I'm going to move next month. So Let's take a look at the present progressive formula. Subject plus be verb plus base ing. I am moving to Kobar next month. All right. Time information is important when using present progressive for future plans. Don't use will for plans. I will move to Kobar next month. Now, you hear people say this, native speakers say this and use this all the time, right? And you probably do something similar in Arabic, where you don't always follow the correct grammar rules. Why? If you're using it in your native language, everybody understands what you really mean, even though you use the grammar incorrectly sometimes, okay? So we know that when you say, I will move to Kobar next month, you're not just making that plan right now. This is something that you've already made a plan about in the past that's going to happen in the future, all right? So be careful, don't make this mistake. Why? Like I said, you're going to hear a lot of native speakers saying it incorrectly because we don't always follow the proper grammar when we're saying this, okay? Okay, let's take a look at our next slide. Just take a minute to look it over and then we'll talk about it together. Okay, let's review what we already went over. To review, we are studying 3 tenses, or the structures in the reading book. Future with will, future with be going to, and present progressive or present continuous. Will can be used for predictions, but not for plans made before now. Be going to can be used for both predictions and plans made before now. Present progressive can be used for plans made before now, but not predictions. So this is a key. Remember this here. This is what you want to focus on, all right? And then you'll see it in our little chart here. For predictions, we can use we can use well, be going to, but not the present progressive. For plans, we cannot use well, we can use be going to and the present progressive. All right? Oops. Okay, let's take a look at our next slide. So again, remember this here. What do we use will for? What do we use be going to for? And what do we use present progressive for? All right? Okay, take a minute, just review this about yes, no questions, and then we'll go over together. All right, let's go over it. Yes, no questions. Remember, focus on our formula. When we're making yes, no questions, well plus subject plus base verb. Well, it rained. And then we can answer with either yes or no. And remember how we do our yes and no. Yes, it will. Yes, comma, it will. No, comma, it won't. Okay. Remember, with these yes or no questions, you have to have at least 3 words in there. That's why we usually can't use contractions with the yes one, because you're not going to say yes, it'll. Okay? We won't use the contraction for it will. All right? But we can use a contraction here. So you need at least 3 words when you're doing a yes or no answer. All right? So for our next one, be verb plus subject plus going to plus base verb. Are you going to play? Yes, comma, I am. No, comma, I'm not. And again, we can use the contraction I am because we have 3 words. We can't use the contraction I'm here because we don't have 3 words. You're not going to say yes, I'm. All right, last one. Be verb plus subject plus base verb ing. Are you playing? Yes, comma, I am. No, comma, I'm not. Okay, again, take a minute, look it over, and then we'll go over it together. Okay, let's review. For WH questions, WH plus will plus subject plus the base verb. Where will you go? And then you can answer, I will go to Cobar. WH plus be verb plus subject plus going to plus base verb. What are they going to say? WH plus be verb plus subject plus base ing. Where are they studying? And again, use your question to help you make your answer. They are studying in the library. Oops, sorry. Okay, I jumped ahead there. All right. Okay, let's take another minute or two to go over this next slide here, and then we'll talk about it together. All right, let's review. Contractions to remember. Okay, subject plus will equals I'll, you'll, will, they'll, he'll, she'll, it'll. Will plus not, won't. All right, so these are all our different subjects. I, you, we, they, he, she, it. All right, used as contractions. Okay, and then in the negative for will, it's just won't. All right, how do we do the subject plus the present be? I'm, your, were, their, he's, she's, it's. Okay, and again, what be verb form goes with which subject? Present be plus not, isn't and aren't. Okay, so make sure you review this contractions, the contraction sheet here, go over them, make sure you understand them. Remember in yes, no questions, no contractions in yes answers. Good, yes, I will. Bad, yes, I'll. Right? Remember, what did I tell you for these yes and no answers? You need at least 3 words in there. Okay? So don't try to do the contraction in the yes answer because it doesn't give you the 3 minimum. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right. Look at these sentences. Look at where the word probably is in relation to the other words. Okay, so take a minute here, go over this, and then we'll talk about it together. All right, let's take a look here. I will probably come to class tomorrow. When we're using will, the probably comes after will. Now let's look at this last one. Except for when we're using will in the negative, the probably comes before it. She probably won't come to class tomorrow. Keep that in mind. This is where students are going to get tricked because they'll remember that this part that probably comes after will, but they will forget about it or get confused when it comes to the negative. It goes in front of the negative. All right? And again, in TV shows, movies, you will probably hear native speakers do it incorrectly. We don't always use the proper grammar. So you've got to focus on the rules here. Okay. I am probably going to come to class tomorrow. It's coming before the going to. She probably isn't going to come to class tomorrow. Just remember in the negative, it's going to come with going to, it's going to come before the negative also. All right? So it's coming between the be verb and going to in the positive. It's going before the be verb negative and going to. All right. Take a moment, look this over, and then we'll discuss it together. All right, the rule for probably. Probably goes after be verb will if the sentence is positive. I will probably come to class tomorrow. I am probably going to come to class tomorrow. Notice be verb plus probably plus going to. Probably goes before the be verb won't if the sentence is negative. She probably isn't going to come to class tomorrow. She probably won't come to class tomorrow. All right? Let's take a look at our next slide. Okay? Give it a minute. Look at these examples, and then we'll check our answers together. So I'll give you a minute or two here to go over this. All right, let's go over. Many people worry that they won't understand if a sentence is a plan or a prediction. This is not a focus on your test, so don't worry about that. The most important thing to remember is the sentence and the question structure. Remember how I told you about the formula, the structure there, how positive and negatives are done. Many experts believe that 50% of world languages blank in the next 50 years. Is going to disappear? Will disappear? Willn't disappear? Okay, so think, which one did you pick? All right, we'll go over it in just a minute. Let's take a look. The Maori people are working very hard to make sure that their culture survives. They believe that their culture blank disappear in the future. Will, isn't going, won't. Okay, let's take a look at our answers. All right. Many experts believe that 50% of world languages blank in the next 50 years. All right, why is this one correct? Okay, this is the wrong contraction here. Okay, what's the contraction for will not? Won't. It's an irregular. So you know automatically C is gone. All right? Okay, many experts, okay, believe that 50% of world languages is, we got a plural here. So is going to go with that? No. That's why this will be the correct answer. Okay. The Maori people aren't working very hard to make sure that their culture survives. the Maori people are working very hard to make sure that their culture survives. They believe that their culture blank disappear in the future. Will disappear? Isn't going? Now remember, okay, isn't going. What's wrong with this? We're missing the two. So we know answer B is just a wrong answer. Okay? It can't be the right answer because it's missing the two. So we've got will or our contraction won't. Now this is the key. The people are working very hard. If you're working very hard at something, okay, do you think it's going to disappear? Okay, no, our answer will be C because they believe that their culture won't disappear. All right. Again, you've got to make sure you read your answer here so you don't get confused. Okay, and there's our, okay, there's our answers. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, won't disappear. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at our next slide. Okay, now let's look at incorrect and correct sentences. So our first column over here, these sentences are incorrect. These sentences are correct. I want you to take 3 minutes and review this, and then we'll go over it together. Okay, let's take a look at our incorrect sentence. He well tells us the schedule. What's wrong here? He well tells. What's our formula? All right, what's our formula? How do we write these things? Okay. He will tell us the schedule. Now, why the S here? Because a lot of times we think with he, she, it, we're adding the S. Okay, this is why, because we learned it in something else, but you have to remember what the formula is for these exercises, okay, or let's say this grammar lesson. Right? That's why I always focus on the formula. What is the formula? All right? And I'll do one more here and then we'll move on. Do they well eat at a restaurant tonight? Okay. What's wrong? Remember how our formula is set up. Well, they eat at a restaurant tonight. Right? And again, everything is about the formula. Okay, let's move on to our next slide. Okay, you've got some questions here. I want you to take about 3 to 5 minutes here, 3-4 minutes. Go through, try to answer our questions, and then we'll go over answers together. All right, let's go over our answer. What form should the main verb be when we use will? Don't forget, will, always in the base form. Base form. How do we form a question with will? Again, this is your formula. How do you do it? Will plus subject plus base form of the verb. How do we shorten will not? Remember, it's going to be regular. It's not going to be willn't. It's going to be won't. Can we contract will, like shill, in a short answer? Not in a short answer. All right, let's take a look at our next page. All right, there we go. Okay, we got some more questions. Give you about 3 minutes here. Go through and again, answer your questions, and then we'll go over answers together. All right, let's go over our answers. What can we use besides will to talk about future? Be verb, going to, and the present progressive. How do we form a question with be going to? Remember the be verb, am, is, or are, plus our subject, plus going to. How do we know it's about the future in example H? So let's look. We are traveling to Egypt next week. All right. What is the cue here, or the key word? Next week. Okay. Let's move on to our next page. Oops. Went too quick. All right, take about 2 minutes, go over this, and then we try to answer this, and then we'll go over our answers together. All right, let's go over our answers. Can we contract be and not at the same time? No, we can only contract once. All right, take a look at this weird contraction here. All right, not going to do two contractions together. How do we form the present progressive? A, the be verb, am, is, are, plus base verb, ing. Which examples above use the present progressive, H through J? Okay. We are traveling. Okay, there's our be verb. There's our base verb, ing. Okay, all right. Be verb. Now we're making a question. Be verb subject, base verb, ing. Okay. She, negative. So be verb in the negative, subject, be verb in the negative, base verb, ing. Okay, let's look at our next slide. Answer the following questions. So take about 3 minutes to go through this and answer the questions, and then we will check them together. All right, let's take a look at our answers. In general, when do we use will to make predictions about the future? In general, when do we use be going to? Both predictions and plans made before now. When we use the present progressive about the future, what do we need to have? Something that shows it is about the future, either from context or words like next week, tomorrow. So we need something that's telling us that you're talking about the future. In positive sentences, how do we contract will? Will contracts with the subject. I, she, you, etc. Remember that sheet that I told you, look at all the contractions on. So go back to that sheet and make sure you understand all the contractions. How do we contract will not? Remember, it's an irregular, so it's not going to be willn't, it's going to be won't. All right. Next one. Correct the following sentences. Some may not need correcting. So you're going to go through these sentences. I'll give you about 5-6 minutes here. Go through the sentences. Think, are they correct or not? And if it's wrong, fix it. Okay, so you give you about 5 or 6 minutes to go through this. All right, let's go over our answers. So let's take a number 6. They'll not come. Okay, remember, the contraction is won't. Okay, so the contraction is in the wrong place here. 7. Are they going to watch a movie tonight? I'm sorry, are they going? See, I even said it correctly because it should be there. Are they going to watch a movie tonight? Will you do it? Yes, I'll. Remember, what did I tell you about the yes or no answers? You need to have at least 3 words in there. Will you do it? Yes, I will. So contractions don't work in the yes answers. When will you graduate? Correct. Or you can say, when are you going to graduate? If you think of it as a plan. All right. I will get married next month. I'm going to get married next month. This is one of those ones, like I told you, we don't always say it correctly. She goes to shopping tonight. She goes to shopping. She is going shopping tonight, or she is going to go shopping tonight. Does he will drive you to school next week? Will he drive you to school next week, or is he going to drive you to school next week if it's a plan? Are you going to go class this afternoon? What are we missing here? Are you going to go to class this afternoon? She'll read to her daughter before bed. Correct. Or if it's a plan, she's going to read to her daughter before bed. Okay. He's going to study hard. Correct. All right. Next one, quiz time. So I want you to take a minute, come up with your answers for these two, and then we'll check answers together. Okay, let's go over our answers. Jim and Pam blank to Australia for their vacation next month. Are going. We've got the 2 here. Okay. Why isn't A correct? Jim and Pam. Jim and Pam. They, right? They is? No. They are. Okay. Many indigenous languages blank in the future if we don't preserve them. So if we don't preserve them, we don't take care of them, what's going to happen? Not going to be there. Okay? Now, will disappear is the correct answer. Okay? In the future. Okay, let's look at our next one. All right, and again, take a minute or two, go through here, Try to find the correct answer, and then we'll go over our answers together. All right, let's go over our answers. I blank learn a third language. Arabic and English are enough for me, are enough. So do I need more? No, I'm saying enough. Okay, so I probably won't. Remember, where does the probably go? In the negative. Okay, goes before it. Right? If this is a problem, if it's a positive, where does it go? Okay, where blank students learn indigenous languages. Okay, it's asking a question here. Okay, where well students learn indigenous languages. 60% of Americans blank Spanish by 2050. So we are making a prediction. Okay, Americans, plural, are going to speak. Okay, that concludes our part 1 of grammar. We'll have a second grammar presentation that we'll go through with. Okay, so that's the end of book 4, unit 8, grammar 1.